Hey, what's going on? It's Thomas Galdenzi with Combat Sports Coverage. And on this edition, I'll be interviewing professional MMA fighter Brittney Elkins as she heads into her PFL main event fight live this Thursday night on ESPN, where she'll be taking on pound for pound best female boxer ever, Claressa Shields, in a professional MMA event. So, Brittney, tell me how you're feeling heading into the biggest MMA fight of your life.
I absolutely feel really great and well prepared. I came in only five pounds over. I have a great weight cut ahead. I'm going to start that tomorrow night, maybe early morning on Wednesday. Couldn't be in a better spirit. I had a tough camp, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm down in the training room now in the bubble with my coaches. Just letting them get their work in. We just did a little bit of mine. It's been a long day, and you know what? I feel absolutely great. I feel great.
And that's one of my questions. I was wondering, how is being in the PFL bubble? For people that may not know, you guys will be going in those bubbles because of COVID reasons. But how does that affect your training camp, and your weight cut? Just, I believe you're in there for 10 days. And how is that maybe affecting your camp? Is it maybe helping you, or is it making it a little bit harder?
I actually had to do a little bit shorter of a camp because I'm not involved in the tournament. So I didn't have to go through all the hoops like they did because there's so many more of them. Me and Claressa are like a showcase bout. So we only had to do 5 days. And I'm happy now to be here because it's like, now I get to chill. But it did make you prepare. I think it made me prepare better for camp because I had to come in so prepared. I had to have everything ready. And I was just like 2 days ahead of everything, than I would be there. I'm like, it was just a checklist that had to come off. Originally they wanted us in here for 17 days. And I was, I got to get 10 more days on the outside of sparring partners and everything. So I think I had a complete camp, a full camp. And now it's like, this is where you want to rest up and get all those bruises not soft and everything like that too. So I think it's kind of like, woohoo. I'm happy about it. It also gave me a chance to push all the media stuff to the back burner until this bubble, because I was like, no, dude, I want to train. And so these days I knew they were already going to be super busy with media. So it's kind of been distracting on the weight cut. And yeah, I think it's actually I feel for the fighters that have been in here for 17 days, because that would drive me insane.
Oh yeah, I couldn't want to imagine making someone go crazy being in a bubble for that long. But I got to ask you, how do you see the fight playing out, Claressa? Do you see yourself winning by TKO, knockout, submission, or is this going to be an all-out war?
I believe that I will win by TKO or a head and arm. I think it's going to end on the ground, and I think it might be an all-out war in the beginning, and then I think we're going to have to figure out some stuff because in my experience, you go in there with the best intentions thinking you're just going to win, and you end up having to figure out some things and overcome some things. So I think it's going to be a wild first round just from experience, and then I hope to TKO her in the second.
Man, that's exciting. That's giving me goosebumps here now. I cannot wait for this fight. I think it's going to be spectacular. When you're looking at a lot of the betting sites right now, they have you at a lot of them are having you at a plus 325 around there. So you're the underdog heading into this fight. But you do have a great skill set to beat Claressa Shield. I think you're a horrible matchup for her first MMA fight.
Thank you.
You being a brown belt with great ground skills and a lot of jiu-jitsu, high-level jiu-jitsu matches under your belt, I think you can give her a lot of problems. And how do you feel about it? Do you think the sports bookies got it wrong, or do you think they maybe, got it kind of right just because of her name?
I think that, betting is a chance, and those kind of things, is all, betting is a chance. I think the sports books got it wrong. On paper, I'm sure it looks like I have a lot of reasons why those betting numbers happen. And truly, it doesn't affect me or how I'm going to go in there. I look at it and kind of giggle. I'm like, ooh, somebody's going to make some money. But I feel like it just gives me that little bit of an edge of another thing that kind of just doesn't let her go in there prepared well enough. She thinks she's going to win. The numbers say she's going to win. The fans say she's going to win. All these things say she's going to win. So why should she think any different? And I think it actually gives me a little bit of a cover, to come in and be be the upset. Those make for great fights, and as a fan, that's what I kind of want to. Of course, I want to create the upset.
I definitely can't wait. I think it's going to be great. Like you were saying, I feel like she kind of rushed into her MMA career. What do you think about that? Do you think she's going to have enough time to work on the ground, or do you think maybe she has some hidden tricks up her sleeve that we maybe haven't seen?
I mean, I think every single person in their life has created a trick to get them to the next stage. So I'm going to just be prepared for everything with an open mind that I want to shut down all those things. You know, I got to be aware of some sense, like I got to be sensible and smart. I think that she's going to have to think of more things that she didn't think about with me than I do with her. You know, boxing, has a long accolade in boxing, but what happens when her hands are taken away? I wonder how much she's prepared for that. So I don't know if you can ever be fully prepared, like ever, to fight any fight, no matter what level you're on. Do I think she rushed it? Well, I hope so.
That's awesome. And then, so I want to ask, like, how does, like, when you, like, looking back, like when you first got the news that you'll be fighting Claressa Shields, she's a big name in combat sports. I'm sure you knew the name when you got it. So like how did you respond to that? Like did you get like an email? Was it a text? Did your manager was like, did you just...
I don't have a manager. I manage myself. So I work in events and venues. I'm a GM of a fight arena in Philadelphia, and I was working the will call and we were filing in the Philadelphians for a CFFC event where the guy lost his finger on April Fool's Day of all days, right? So literally this guy just loses his finger. I have all like our crowd in, and then they announce over the PA, if you see the finger, you know, and then Ray Sefo called me on my phone, like all this chaos was going on. And I follow the sport, so I knew that Claressa was signed. But that I didn't think that's why Ray was calling me. I work in combative sport promotions, you know, so I didn't know what he was calling about. And he told me, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding, bud?" And like I asked him probably 10 times the same question if he was joking. He assured me he wasn't. And even we hung up the phone. We were like, "Yeah, okay." I gave a verbal yes. I looked at around, they were still freaking out about the kid that lost his finger in my like present viewpoint. And I still, without addressing that, I called back Ray and I go, "Are you kidding?" And he's like, "No, I'm not kidding." And then I verbally yesed again. And then we had a contract on April 13th.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, man. That's some great insight. And I got to know, so this isn't your first time to try to play spoiler for a big name, first time MMA fighter coming from the Olympics. You were also Kayla Harrison's pro MMA debut. Do you think like having that experience, taking on a big name like that, is going to kind of transfer over and help in this match?
Oh, I totally think it does, because it's turned the light on before I had to, you know, like I already am thinking of things that happened in that match that I wasn't thinking about then. And I was not as prepared for Kayla as I am for Claressa. And that's a total different kind of fight, you know. Yeah, fighting Kayla and having that experience of that time before, I had a lot of things ready to go, like in my mind, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And I definitely took this camp a little, you know, differently because of my experience in that. So absolutely, it set up a better prepared Brittney, you know, just smarter, thinking about things.
And is that maybe a fight you would maybe like down a rematch, maybe down in the future?
You know, I would have to prepare a lot. Kayla's really doing well. She is an incredible athlete. Not only that, I've become a fan of her words and the way she thinks. So, I like fighting, you know, I just like the fight. So if the stars align in that direction, we'll look at the list that sees if we take that or not. I have a lot of things to catch up on, you know, to get back on the Kayla level or to feel that way. I do think she's doing quite well. I'm not going to tell you no.
That's awesome.
I just want to think about, I make smart decisions for myself. And so if I was in the right health position and the right head position, those are things that I take into a huge accountability, because your mind has to be right to take on these things. So many other things come into there than just fighting. You got to be ready to emotionally grasp a lot of different things. And Kayla is a huge honor to have had fought once. We'll talk about that on June 11th or June 12th when we can ask Matt. But I'm not going to tell you no.
So you're definitely all focused on Claressa Shields going forward. So and then like why aren't you guys like why aren't you in the PFL tournament? Like why is this a showcase fight? Like was it just not offered to you or like
they never offered me a chance. I think they want to give Kayla, they signed Kayla, sorry, we were just talking about Kayla. They signed Claressa, and I think that they are just giving her a chance instead of putting her in that, because I think at the tournament, we were discussing it today, you fight pretty quickly back to back, and then you fight in the season, right? And so I think that when I look at this as from a promoter trying to build up a brand new fighter, I mean, as a business, I would do it the same way. They got to give her their thing. And since she's a professional in boxing, she has to enter as a professional in MMA. So they have to give her a platform to start from. So, I mean, assumably, I assume that she would move into something like the tournament under the contract in no time, but I'm sure they had to test the waters and see where they start her at.
is that something you're maybe looking forward to in the future? Maybe getting on like one of their next seasons?
I'm not going to tell you no. I was gonna. That's what actually. I was gonna get on that last tournament, and I was preparing, and I fought Bobby to try to get in that, and I ended up breaking my arm. So I mean, it's all an opportunity of like where you're at in life. I really wanted that opportunity before. I'm not going to say I don't want that. I just I want to be in the right mind frame to give you a good answer, and I can only think about Thursday. But I am, it's fun to look at that and see it to be a possible option. I always like daydreaming, so we'll see.
And how do you feel like how honored do you feel about being the headline for such a stacked main event in a fight card like this one that you're on? As your co-main event, you have Showtime Anthony Pettis underneath you, and there's so many other great names on this card, and you get to be the headliner. Like, how awesome is that?
When they didn't even tell me until like I had to go through so many things to get to this fight, and they didn't tell me what position we were going to be in. And about 4 weeks ago, I had an interview with like the PFL, so that we had that like casting, or whatever they do for their media, and they told me in the interview. And so I break down crying, and it wasn't like a sad cry. It was just I'm so honored. I keep saying this out loud. The coolest thing about this fight is being a fighter in it. I mean, this is a very cool fight. It's really been building nicely. I knew from the second I signed the contract, I knew it was going to be a really big deal. So I'm proud. I'm so proud to be Brittney Elkin, and I hope to be the best Brittney ever in there. And I hope to cause an extreme upset. I have an opportunity like no other to give my best to this, and I'm going to give everything I have, So it's an honor. It's a very, very prideful honor, and I'm trying to live in the moment so that I have these moments when I can't perform again.
And then do you have any last words to your opponent, Claressa?
An unprepared woman is prepared to fail, and I just am not prepared to fail. I'm ready to go, and I thank you for fighting me. Let's fucking go. Let's make this a great fight. I'm gonna win.
And then before I let you go, do you have any special shout outs or any shout outs to any training partners or sponsors?
Absolutely. Oh my God. My corners have done so many things. I had a last minute change corner. I've had so many things. So I have to thank Zach Mikowski, Brianna Fasori, Brad Nicolaarson will be in my corner, but I have to thank Jay Gabudo because we had a last minute change, and he's been just such a wonderful human. I've had 10th Planet Bethlehem open up their studio to me, Studio 84 open up their studio. I had Unity open up. I've had so many gyms and partners, and I can't name them all to you. There's 100 in this camp alone, plus all my priors. So sponsors, I'm going to tell you the 2300 Arena sponsored my gear along with Hustle Athletics, and that's what you'll see me repping in the cage. But I had so much support for this fight, down to Muscle Rubs Coffee, just just everybody is like, let's fucking go. So I just want to say anybody that's on Team Elkin, let's fucking go.
Well, that's awesome. I cannot wait for the fight this Thursday. We're over here. We'll be cheering for you. We know that we smell an upset coming, so we're going to be putting our money on those bets, and I cannot wait for the fight. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for giving me some of your time, especially so close to the fight and the weigh-ins.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you, and I hope you make some money. Let's go.